back on the Morning Brew, just getting rolling for Monday, and we welcome our first guest of the week from Albuquerque Business First. Veteran reporter Dennis Domrzalski is in the seat.
Larry, how you doing? Aaron, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I love that picture on Facebook of you with the reindeer thing going on and the red nose. And
I know some people thought, I try to tell people I was not drinking heavily, but no one believes me.
No,
Yeah.
no, not at all.
Not with a picture like that, no.
What the heck?
Well, guess what, Aaron? The main story in Albuquerque Business First is all about the Merry Roundhouse, which will start spinning on
Tuesday.
the 21st.
Next
Tuesday,
week.
The 21st,
Yeah.
a week from tomorrow. And Dennis is here with the publication has covered all the important issues that won't get taken care of.
Come on, Larry. Be a little optimistic.
I know, it's a budget, 30-day budget session.
30-day
right?
budget session. I mean, there's already, a couple of hundred bills pre-filed. I don't know how they're going to get to all this stuff. A couple of you've got two competing budgets. You got the governor's and you've got the legislature's. Legislature's comes in a little higher. Key differences between them. Legislative budget wants to give across the board 1.5% raises to all state employees. The governor doesn't want to do that. She's trying to she wants to put $10 million to a closing fund, which is funded at 3.3 right now. She also wants to make the job training incentive program permanent, meaning give it recurring revenue, which it has never had. So, that'll be interesting. She's also got a whole slew of things to increase the healthcare workforce, which should be, I hate to use the word, should be a no-brainer. But you never know what's going to happen up there.
If it's a no-brainer with the legislature, that means they really won't do it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's
one of the big fights. There's a lot of little things going on, but one of the big fights. Some of the legislators were telling me, and they're a little miffed at this, is over the lottery scholarship fund.
Right.
Okay, so this thing was set up 94, 95. Never supposed to get any taxpayer money. Now, because it's insolvent, they're looking at throwing $7 to $10 million at it. Both sides saying it's temporary until they can get a fix, but. How are they going to fix it?
And that's the big issue.
Sure.
And there have been a lot of fixes. Oh, well, let's make the requirements more difficult. But then you have a lot of people, oh, no, we can't do that. Okay, well, then let's just not have a scholarship at all. I mean, we need to
do something
to help this
and that's
fund.
the battle that's going to
Yeah.
go on, because there's going to be some people saying, hey, we just can't give this stuff away to everybody, although it was set up that way. You've got to provide some incentive for kids. You just can't have kids with D's and stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the battle. Do we increase those standards, as you say? Do they means test it? Meaning, if you've got a lot of money, you get less, but that wasn't why it was set up either. That'll be a big deal.
Yeah.
What
about the driver's licenses for illegal aliens issue? Is that that's gonna come back
She'll bring that up again. I suspect the same thing will happen.
Yeah, I do too.
I just don't understand that. 75% of you Mexicans
Don't understand it either.
don't understand it either. Yeah, so that's what the beauty of democracy. You got these representatives who truly pay attention to your views and go up there to Santa Fe.
Well, they keep telling me they're there to fight for me.
And that issue, just so people understand, that issue has to come straight from the governor, because this is a budget session and only money issues
Correct.
are being looked at.
The other thing you're going to see is a slew of proposed constitutional amendments, whether it be Jerry Ortiz y Pino trying to legalize marijuana. And the reason being because it is a budget session and they can't get anything onto the call unless the governor approves it. The only way around it is a constitutional amendment, because those are the things that are exempt from the governor's approval. So you're going to see a bunch of those, which will probably be a total waste of time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Putting anyway.
So another big topic is education funding. So do we see a lot of good things coming for education?
Yeah, you've got both sides really pouring more money at education in various ways. They're not that far apart. The governor is really big when it comes to public education. She is fanatic about this, getting kids to read at third grade level, saying that if they don't, they're 4 times as more likely to drop out of school eventually than others. And so she's really focusing on that with coaches and things like that. And I think that'll be a battle too. Just where does that money go? So the governor.
Well, that's a big issue. Is you keep throwing money at the issue, but we don't have an actual solution to the problems.
No, we don't. And the good thing is that the graduation rate did tick up to about 70% in 2012. But it's still really bad. It's lousy. And the governor was in Albuquerque last week in front of the Economic Forum, and she gave a terrific speech, best I've ever seen her give. Really laying out, she's a prosecutor, so she kind of is very methodical,
Right.
but she was very passionate about this and just laying it out. Passing a kid who can't read on the 4th grade, she said, that is not compassion. And she said, we're 49th, and it has been around, we've been this way for a long time, and that's unacceptable.
And did you hear this thing? I think I heard it maybe Friday or over the weekend. They want to, there's somebody, one of the legislators are proposing changes to lower standards so more high school students can graduate.
They haven't
We're going to
seen
lower
that.
the bar?
Yeah, and that's,
great.
I mean, we're already at the bottom. Let's just lower standards and let
But
people get through.
The thing is what the governor recognizes, and if you start reading all the literature and all the stories out there, the key to economic development and perhaps economic survival, if you want to call it, is having a well-trained, educated workforce.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one's going to come here. No companies are going to want to come here if you've got a bunch of people running around who can't read or write. And that's the key to it. And so I just don't understand why some factions think it's okay to do that to kids.
Yeah. And lowering standards, I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous.
And what you're doing is you're basically sentencing kids to perhaps permanent underclass status.
Yeah.
How is
We're
that
not-
compassionate?
Yeah, we're not challenging them. Oh, you can't do this? That's okay. Go ahead
Exactly.
and pass.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a trophy.
I mean,
Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a diploma.
everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind
Can
of what
I
it is.
ask you about the 800-pound gorilla in the room? This legislative session, of course, will be the governor's race, and a lot of legislative races too. But is the legislature willing to give Governor Martinez any credit or any sway in passing any of her initiatives because she is up for re-election?
I would think that they have to because she's so popular. She's extremely popular. And so there are some of these things. There are going to be, and let me give you an example on just the economic development front. Legislative Interims Jobs Council went through a whole couple of months of trying to determine what to do. It includes Democrats, Republicans, business people, labor, and they came to the conclusion that in order just to get even to where we were before 2007, we need 160,000 economic-based jobs. Those are jobs whose goods and services are exported.
Yeah.
And leading the charge was Ken Martinez, House Speaker. And what I've been told is because they passed that tax package last year, and because the cities are going to lose revenue, they have finally realized that they've got to find a way to get some jobs in this state. And so this is the first time, the only in the 28 years that I have been here, that anybody has come up with any kind of a plan, and it's a bipartisan effort. And with Ken Martinez leading it, I suspect that because they know that I think people ain't going to blame the governor for everything. I mean, this thing's been going on for 5 years.
Sure.
So I think she's popular, and I think they're up against a wall, and they know they've actually got to try to get something done when it certainly comes to the jobs front.
Yeah.
Well,
And going back to education for a moment, have you heard anything about Secretary Scandera? I've seen a lot of things in the rumor mill about, they might try to get her out this session.
Well, I don't think they'd have time. There's nothing they can do. We went through that whole charade last year with those endless hearings. She's still secretary designate, and that's all she's got to do is keep her as secretary designate. I don't think she's going anywhere.
Yeah.
She's got she and the governor are on the same page when it comes to this teacher evaluation and raising the standard.
Yeah.
if this was a 60-day session, I'd say maybe.
Yeah.
But it's
But
not.
all the governor could do then is just turn around and keep her in the same appointment. And,
Yeah.
You know.
And start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, honestly, I hate to be so cynical, but I hope they surprise and delight me by actually doing something this year. And
well, I can guarantee you they will do something. Now, whether
whether we like it or not
yes,
is another matter.
exactly, but they will do something.
Well, they've got to pass a budget, so
They got to pass a budget, and all this. They've got about $200 million, $250-60 million in extra money. That is virtually all oil and gas money. Without the oil and gas industry, this state's in
we'd
in
be in
much
a
worse
world of
shape
hurt.
than
Yeah.
we are.
Good to see you again,
Hey,
Dennis.
thank you, and have a good time.
Yeah,
Wrap it
thank
there.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Dennis Domrzalski reporting on the upcoming legislative session for Albuquerque Business First. Hey, a great place to network is a wine tasting, and our networking guru, Stacy Sacco, has details for you next.